The earliest outposts was established between 90 billion and 50 million years ago, around the time when we also built the mothership Masir Destiny and seed ships to travel through the universe. Our knowledge spread throughout the galaxy, evident by the structures we left behind and our repository of knowledge. We lived on the planet Rizq, which has a 3-sun galaxy. 100 million years ago we formed an alliance with the Asgard first type of Greys, the bird people, the Lael people and the feline race, becoming a superpower within the galaxy. Approximately 25 billion years ago, a radiation plague nearly wiped us out. Originating at the construction site for our new capital known as Ilion with 3 suns and 19 planets. Which is 999 light years away. We can sun jump and make it there in minutes. Rizq has 3 continents: Darnu Raya, Zarantu, and Kusmusta. Our planet Rizq is the main planet of that galaxy. The deadly disease would spread across much of the galaxy. The disagreeable draconian reptilians blew a hole in the ozone layer of our planet, causing the plague. We attempted to travel back in time and get gold and other minerals, to stop the plague from spreading, but our efforts were unsuccessful. So we had to leave for other worlds until the planet could be fixed. On our planet we have 3 years for 1 day, due to the 3 suns. 72 hours is 3 years. 1095 Earth days is 1 day on Rizq. 15.2 days is 1 hour on Rizq. We eat 1 time a day at 12 noon, which is every 3 years. Once a day, which is 3 years. We shed our 3rd to 5th dimensional physical bodies for a light body. This is when the 3 suns line up. This is when we were developing the technology to be able to ascend. After we left Rizq we master this, and were able to ascend to our light form and stay there, which is the 7th dimension. We have developed a new type of food, called brain food. Which is a colored pellet which we put in an advanced machine, then type in the computer what we want it to be and it becomes that. Say, you want salad. You put the colored pellet in the machine and it becomes salad. We live in advanced hologram houses and buildings. We can design any type of building or whole cities if we want. Unable to fix our planet fast, the surviving Rizqians left Rizq in the Nibiru mothership fleets and other crafts we had, such as Atlantis, on course for the Orion, Arcturus, Pleiades, Earth solar system and many more. The Throne, which is the name of one of the main motherships out of Nibiru fleet of ships. Captained by Murdoch, who is known in the Bible world as the Angel Michael. Murdoch is the grandson of Anu and son of Enki. Murdoch incarnated as Dr. Malachi Z. York Al. My grandfather picked him because he has made it through the school of Anu and became a 720 degrees Grandmaster. He is the captain of the rocket ship. He defeated Tarnush and his son Halal, who were humanoid Vulcan draconian reptilian beings. They are the dragons mentioned of in Revelation. After our desperate departure from Rizq 24 billion years ago, we, Rizqians, returned to Earth to get gold and other minerals. It took a long time for us to rebuild our empire, so many Rizqians breed with humans and many other races to have a home. A lot of Rizqians married into other races to make peace in their new homes, to set a path for the future and create future civilizations, while others went on and ascended. Over the 76 trillion years of our existence, we gradually evolved to become much more advanced than baseline humans, and our neurological makeup became much more complex than that of the average human. As our brains further evolved, our intelligence and capacity to store knowledge greatly increased, allowing us to develop some of the most advanced technology encountered thus far. Towards the end of our evolutionary development before we ascended, we developed various advanced mental powers, including extraordinary sensory abilities, the ability to heal others with a touch, telepathy, and powerful telekinesis. Enki is son of Anu and Iyyd, who was part Draconian and Hindu. The ascended being Enki returned to human form in the most advanced genetic state a human could reach, with the ability to sense the presence of, and activate, a stargate and generating energy beams created with his mind. Just before a Rizqian reaches ascension, this is the final evolutionary state. Some types of our technology can also create the state in an unevolved human without ascending them. Within their genetic makeup was a particular gene, the Rizqians technology activation gene, used to activate and interact with some of our more sensitive technology, like the control chairs and shuttles. The gene was naturally occurring within our physiology, and as the result of genetic manipulation. Given its predecessor technology as the master code on Masir, a numeric sequence based on the 46 chromosomes that we ancients and humans share. The Ada gene is based on something naturally occurring within your genetic code as Nubians. You are royalty in the galaxies. You are the cream of the crop. We Rizqians reached an advanced stage of being where we were able to rid ourselves of our physical bodies and rise to a higher plane of existence, one in which we live as pure energy on the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensions. We live eternally as pure energy on a higher plane of existence with an infinitely increased capacity for knowledge, wisdom, and unfathomable power, including the ability to destroy entire armies and space fleets with a mere thought. Despite being an advanced, industrialized society, we have a preference for stone structures enriched with Naquadah, which is element 125 for strength, while in the Milky Way galaxy on the 3rd dimension. In the 5th dimension we hologram these same structures. We build ziggurats and pyramids as a type of massive structures built in ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, and in other places on Earth and on other planets. Ziggurats have the form of a terraced compound of successively receding stories or levels. We are the ancient gods of Mesopotamia. My grandfather is the Most High Elion El, who is Anu, the Galactic President. He has over 80 wives from different races and thousands of children. The Most High is decided by competition every 9 billion years. As it is above, so is it below. You have kings, presidents, mayors, and governors. There is the same thing going on in the galaxy. There is a most mid who is Elelu and a most low. There were also 2 instances of a large monument with an enthroned figure housing advanced technology, such as the repository of knowledge and the super weapon. The stargates have our symbols engraved on them, and spin when dialing. The humans copy this and made the phone, through which the real you travel through the phone as sound. We are telepathic and speak a complex language of symbols called cuneiform. We chose to translate this language into the 3rd dimension. We wrote this information on stone tablets. We did this for the human to learn a system of communication. Our language is called Nuwapu. We created a 3rd dimensional form of it called cuneiform, which spawned Arabic and Hebrew. We send these symbols from mind to mind in the 5th dimension. What Yanan taught was the basic form of this language to our children. I can teach you our language in less than 10 minutes. Any other source of technology would have proven useless because they would also have to be on the same level of technology as us to even extract that information. This is the oldest language on the planet. The Hindu language is the 2nd oldest, called Sanskrit. Naquadah, element 125 enriched stone, or just Naquadah for the stargates, is our preferred storage because of its ability to stay intact for millions of years while paper would degrade and anything tech-based would require a power source that would eventually become depleted. We used gold and limestone, which is very powerful. Limestone is one of the most durable options out of all building materials. It's strong and dense, and contains few pores. Less pores make it harder for the stone to break, and allow it to withstand abrasion and freeze-thaw. It's also weather resistant, making it the perfect option no matter the climate you're in. We built the limestone pyramid that was found in the Bermuda Triangle underwater. That pyramid is millions of years old. We turned to a metallic-looking architecture, displayed in the city ship Atlantis. This form of architecture was created during our existence in the Pegasus galaxy. Upon coming to the Milky Way, we constructed in a stone appearance again. When compared with the ancient technology in the Pegasus, the ancient structures in the Milky Way are relatively new. As for the ancient architecture created after Rizq, most of the Rizqians had ascended by then, and the ones that were left wanted to fit in with human culture of the time, for example, Inki, and the Knights of the Round Table. We are well known for our belief in free will and will go to great lengths to ensure that others are allowed to make their own decisions without outside interference. We are into science, sound right, reasoning, and logic. Knowledge and enlightenment were fundamental to our universe views. We know that the universe is to be studied, and that scientific experimentation was essential to gaining understanding and overstanding. Most importantly, we promote free will. We know that the right to choose whatever a person wants to believe is more important than anything else. This has been to our detriment, however, as it has been that very belief in free will that forces us to respect the rights of the Ori draconian reptilians in believing their fanaticism. We don't have the right to restrict the freedom of the followers of Ori reptilians to believe in the Ori by brainwashing the true nature of the Ori into their followers for much of the same reasons. To accelerate the natural ascension of any living being is a high crime among our people, and the others, also known as the keepers. Those who follow their rules of non-interference, have taken harsh measures against those that break them. Tarnush the Ori was an outcast for his efforts in helping others to go against galactic law, and he was forced to watch Halal use his knowledge to try and conquer the Milky Way. Halal was also later outcast when he used his powers to make people follow him. He used his power on the people of the planet Valeno to construct an orbital weapon to protect themselves, but then intended to use the weapon against other races. Similarly, to his father who attacked Rizq. By the time we ascended, we had gathered more knowledge than any other known race. Even now, that knowledge is far superior to that of the Tari human, Greys, the Egyptian, and the reptilians. Only Ori technology, which was created with ascended knowledge by the elders, and Asgard technology can compare. Although, the Asgard's Greys did admit that they had extracted parts of the Rizqians database and had only been able to analyze a small part of it. Of all our technological creations, the Stargates, Masir Destiny, Nibiru, and Atlantis are our most famous, but we have developed devices as diverse and complicated as flying cities, advanced healing devices, beaming technology, zero-point power sources, long-range communication devices, seek and destroy projectiles, and even genetic manipulation devices. Most of our weapons technology was designed and used during our 250,000-year war with the insects in the Pegasus galaxy. However, after coming to the Milky Way, we Rizqians had no further need for either more powerful weapons or defensive shields, as our only potential enemies were the far inferior reptilians, so we became somewhat lacking when compared to their other technological marvels created during this time. Despite us not making many advancements in weapons or shielding technologies, we, the Rizqians, were still among the most powerful of races in the Milky Way. An example of this being that the latest weapons technologies employed by the Asgard science vessel. As a safeguard, most ancient technology requires the presence of the ancient technology activation gene to use or their human children, but in a large number of instances the gene is only required to activate it. In such cases, once active, anyone can use the technology, regardless of whether or not they possess the gene. The only time the ATA gene is required is to start it up. There is a book coming out by the young elder called The Family Journey that will go over more about us. So stay tuned.